we're in election season, so no surprise there. Somebody got a note. Somebody got a message to President Biden and VP Harris. They didn't know that they needed to do an outreach to black voters. I'm so glad that somebody got them the message. So President Biden and VP Harris are launching their black voter outreach. And of course, they are warning about a second Trump term. So I'm glad that they have finally woken up to understand that the 2024 election is going to hang on the margins, meaning a small amount of votes is going to decide this election. So the president has renewed his election year pitch to black voters today. Oh, but don't understand this. Don't forget this. Black voters are going to give the president the blues because a lot of us are going to remind him, yo, you ain't do all the stuff you said you were going to do the last time. So he's got to understand that those conversations are going to be coming. So he lashed out at Donald Trump's MAGA lies, and they lie. But folks are going to say that Biden's lying too. I guess he's talking about who tells the bigger lies. He said that the winner of this year's White House race will make crucial decisions. This we know. But the Biden campaign has been hemorrhaging black votes if you pay attention to reports. If you listen to those things, they have been hemorrhaging black voters. Now, I talk to black voters every day, and a lot of people are not excited about Joe Biden. But newsflash, nobody was ever excited about Joe Biden. They weren't excited about him in 2020. They're not excited about him now. They weren't excited about him in the 90s, and they weren't excited about him in the 2000s. Joe Biden's not an exciting guy. But he did point out that things like nominees for the Supreme Court, which will affect this country for decades, is something that the next president is more than likely going to do. The older justices are going to probably be checking out in the next presidential term. So who's in the White House is going to have some, important decisions to make. And Biden is reminding folks of that. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for telling us some stuff we didn't already know. Now, the president and the vice president in a joint appearance in Philly thanked black voters and in Pennsylvania and beyond for being the linchpin to their 2020 victory. I don't know why they're just saying it now, but I would advise candidates. The campaigning does not start during election year, or it should not start during election year. This is one of the things that voters get upset about. Don't just come around to me 2020 when you're trying to get elected in 2020. Don't just come around to me in 2022 when you're just trying to get elected then. Don't just come to me in 2024 during the election year when you're trying to get elected, and don't talk to me no other time. The black voter outreach should have never stopped. Should have never stopped. I don't understand why it's so hard for politicians to figure this out. You have to, just like anything else, you have to promote your message. You have to promote your strategies. You have to promote and talk to the potential voters about your platform, even on the off year. Because when we don't hear from you for 4 years, and then you come around like clockwork, election time, election year, people are going to be skeptical. This is anybody. And then you talk about black voters who have been severely disappointed, not just with Joe Biden, but with all the presidents. We're going to be looking at you like you're crazy. You're battling somebody. So Joe Biden and Trump are battling the couch. What do I mean? You are battling because you have a bunch of voters who say it's not even worth me getting off my couch to go vote because they think it doesn't matter who wins. It does matter who wins. If Hillary Clinton had won in 2016, women's right to abortion would still be intact. It would. Hillary would have done something different than Trump did. The candidates are not the same. Candidates are not the same. If Hillary had been in office in 2016 or won the election in 2016, she would not have made the same decisions on the Supreme Court that Donald Trump did. And I'm telling you, that alone is a difference in who wins. It's a difference. Now, you can dislike both choices. I dislike both choices. I don't like Joe Biden. I don't like Donald Trump. I definitely don't like Donald Trump. So which one's worse? Well, let's look at the Supreme Court decisions that Trump would make versus the Supreme Court decisions that Biden would make. Now, while I don't like Biden, I would agree with his Supreme Court picks more than I would Donald Trump's. I would. The President Biden also urged that Trump is unhinged and he's peddling misinformation in an effort to win back the White House. This is true. This is true. Now, sadly, Democrats on a whole, nationally, are very poor with messaging, very poor with getting voters to understand accomplishments. They're very bad at this. They're very bad. The fact that they're coming out now, talking about we're launching our black voter outreach. If black women and black men are the most dedicated Democrats, why are you just launching your outreach 6 months now before the election? I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? It makes little to no sense. Kids in school, you wait till right before graduation to start doing your work, you're not going to pass, right? You need to be doing the work all year long, right? But these are so-called smart people, and they clearly don't act smart. But we can say better late than never. Say better late than never. Joe Biden said that my question is a simple one. Are you with me? Who writes this stuff for him? Who writes this stuff for him? Joe Biden's old. Trump is old. Neither one of them can walk the mile. My father is in his 70s, and he's in better shape than both of these Bamas. I'm telling you. He is. He's in good shape. Check out. Hey, what's going on? Joe Storm. Check my father out. He is D'sBabyBoomers.vip. Check him out. He's in shape, right? So you can be older. You can be in your 70s and still be in shape. My father's 74, and he can do a lot of push-ups. Yeah, you might be saying, why are you talking about your father? I'm just saying my father's old, is an older gentleman, just like these guys. But President Biden and Harris have launched their black voter outreach. And here's my thing. We have got to hold candidates accountable. Now, if they don't outreach, like that most of them don't do during non-election years, we have to go looking for them to get these, to demand the things that we want. That's just it. Right. So I always say that the relationship between voters and candidates has to be a two-part thing. We are both playing tennis. We hitting the ball back and forth. So they hit the ball, we hit the ball. Now, after they get elected, they put their rackets up, put their jogging suits in the locker, and we have to come like, nope. Time to play another game. Time to play another game, and we got to keep hitting it. We got to force them because they're not going to do it unless you force them to. They just wired like that. They just wired like that. On Instagram, he's saying that we need tangibles, not talk. I agree with you 1,000%. We need tangibles. What are those tangibles? We got to go to the table with something. Because look, Joe Biden and his team, they just typical Democrats, which means they don't communicate well. They just react to everything. Democrats need to be more aggressive. They need to be more proactive. But we as voters, as constituents, as citizens, we got to be more proactive too. Joe Storm says on Instagram says that Joe Biden is not a good president. All right, Joe. Joe's my man, DJ Joe Storm. Tell me who was the last good president. Okay, I need an example so we can measure Joe Biden to. When Instagram is saying that Biden should have started this outreach in 2021. I agree. I just got you saying that. I agree 100%. Hate crime laws, reparations, outlawing, redlining. Oh, I like that. I like that. Joe Storm said that people need to stop voting parties. Joe Storm says that Bill Clinton was a good president. Okay. What did Bill Clinton do that you say made him a good president? I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying, what did Bill Clinton do? Have you ever had a president that was for us? For us was Barack Obama for us? Have we ever had a FUBU president for us by us? Like that. Definitely Joe Biden, Kamala Harris launching their black voter outreach today in Philly. I mean, it was a black town. It was in a black city. So they say that Barack Obama was not for us. Well, who was Barack Obama for? And how much can you do? You have one person, he's one guy, and I don't think that people supported him. I think that people just sat back and said, the aspirational aspect of President Obama. But did we support him? And do we support? The MAGA people support Trump. Do black people support our politicians the same way that the MAGA folks support Donald Trump? Do they come out like, no, we don't. We sit back. We fold our arms. We refuse to get behind anybody. We want to sit back and just chill and think that everything's going to come to us. I'm just saying. Obama did a lot for LGBT immigrants and women. Okay. So the presidents can do a lot. Now, presidents can do a lot, but we have to do our part as well. We have to demand the things that we want. Closed mouths don't get fed. Squeaky wheel don't get no oil. I mean, squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? We just talk amongst each other, but we don't hold these politicians accountable. Trump issued executive orders left and right. Executive orders mean nothing. Executive orders are only good when the executive is there. Executive order is not a law. It's a temporary fix. Executive order is a Band-Aid. Executive orders don't count because it's not lasting. I'm just saying. On Instagram, we're saying that Trump issued executive orders. I'm just saying executive order is nothing. Nothing is going to be there. You blink and the executive order is gone because the next person come in and say, I ain't doing none of those things. I'm doing some other stuff. Right? No, we need laws. And the president alone cannot make the law. You need Congress. That's why the other elections are important as well. That's why it matters who wins, and that's why we must vote. That's why we must vote. Now, we can get better candidates, but we can't. If we sit back and let the old machine do the same thing they're doing, they're going to keep rewarding people that's been in the pipeline, and we're going to have all these old candidates. If you want to change things, we need newer, younger candidates. That means young people need to get involved in the process. The younger the politician is, the better the chance is of getting something done quickly. But it has to be done en masse. We have to support the candidates. We can't just sit back and just not pay attention. On Instagram, it's saying that they are still fixing laws that Bill Clinton apologized for doing. Okay, tell me what you mean by that on Instagram? That's interesting. I want to hear more about that. So 90s were good. 90s was a good time. 90s was a good time. All right, I don't see nobody talking about George Bush. Look at it this way: if we want something from Democrats, you have to go through Congress. Blah 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 blah. If we want something from Republicans, we only have to convince one man. No. You must be a Trump supporter. Okay, that is absolutely not true. Okay. Congress is involved in the thing. So basically on Instagram, he's saying that Democrats go by the rules and Trump just does things himself. The executive order is not a lasting thing. It's not a law. It's not a law. All right. So you're talking about the crime bill, the 94 crime bill that Bill Clinton signed. Okay, that wasn't a good thing. That was not a good thing. And Joe Storm is saying that in order for black people to change things is by owning their neighborhoods, owning properties. Voting for the governor and mayor is voting for governor and mayor, not just president. Absolutely, DJ Joe Storm. Ownership and participation, super important. Local politics, super important. Super important. Did you vote for Brandon Scott or did you vote for Sheila Dixon, DJ Joe Storm? I'd like to know that. How many excuses have Biden given us to why he couldn't get anything done? Biden has gotten some things done. He just didn't get the things done that he needed to for black people, generally speaking. He got some things done. I just don't think that our priorities, black people's priorities, were at the top of his list. And we did not force him to do that. So Joe Storm says on Instagram says that I voted for Sheila Dixon. I'm not really a Brandon Scott supporter at all. Never have been. So you voted for Sheila Dixon. I like Sheila Dixon. I like Brandon Scott as well. I wish that they could have, come together a bit. Maybe I'm crazy. On Instagram, is saying that the crack and cocaine laws, so-called war on drugs, the war on drugs, that was Bush and Reagan. Building so many prisons. Yeah, the prison pipeline is troubling. It is troubling. But too many black and brown people. Yes, absolutely. Now, here's the thing. That's a business, right? That prison pipeline is a business. And, we have got to understand, accept that. And it's a trap. It's a trap to feed the criminal justice system. It is a trap. How many of our young people are on this pipeline right now? How many? Plenty of our young people on this pipeline. They're on this track to go into those prisons that have been built. So we have a lot of issues, a lot of things that we must address. A lot of things. And we're going to do this. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and I'm going to talk about one of those problems, Supreme Court.